Welcome to episode 22 of Trail Times podcast with Big Bear Events. This is being recorded the day after the Squirrel Challenge that we held at Daventry Country Park on quite a grey sort of Wednesday. Unfortunately, it was quite foggy in the morning, which is when the photographer was there. So a lot of the images that he's taken show fog, but I did manage to capture actual sunlight during some of the clips that I took. So I will go through those clips now. We'll do those bits first and then I'll have a chat afterwards.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Daventry Country Park for the Squirrel Challenge. We are about 45 minutes into the event now, I think. And it's all going well. We've got the HQ set up behind me there. Timing's working. Everything's good. I've not said to the runners, so this will be a nice little exclusive for afterwards, but there were rats here yesterday. It is a known place where you get rats. There's lots of water, as you can see behind me. We've not seen any this morning. We did do an event here a few years ago where there were just tons of them the whole day. We were just chasing rats around, but I've not seen any yet, so that's good. Hopefully there won't be a video of me later covered in rats telling you about all the rats. But beautiful day. Well, no, it's not. That's an absolute lie. It's a grim day. It's meant to be getting brighter, the weather-wise, but lots of smiles still from people that are out, which is the main point. And in terms of actually running weather, it's probably pretty decent. Everyone's coming back, as is quite typical at these events. They start off and they're sort of milling about and they're a bit cold, and they come back in on one lap like, oh, it's a bit warmer than I thought it was going to be. It's like, yeah, it's because you're running. It's not very warm standing around, so it's not a particularly warm day. Hopefully it does get brighter as we go through the day. It'd be lovely for all the kit to dry out, because it's going to be in the van for a few weeks until the Badger Challenge at the end of the month. But you can see behind me, if you're watching this, you can see behind me the runners going across the dam wall there. Hopefully the photographer's got some cracking photos, but when it's misty like this, it does somewhat spoil those views, but we'll see how we get on. And I'll try and get some clips with people as they go round. As is again always the case, we see how successful I am doing that. Just found this on a tree very close to where we're registering and where we're running everybody. I've got no idea. National Squirrel Appreciation Day. I don't know if somebody's put it out today or if that's been out for a long time. I'll have to find out. So a little update from the aid station. Again, if you've not been to the events and you wonder what we have, this is about 10:30. So we've got out at the moment Jaffa cakes, birthday cake, cheese on crackers. That's all right, don't worry. We've got less cheese on crackers now. We had more, now we've got less. Nice. We've got less. We've got sweets, we've got hot cross buns, we've got fruit pastels. Oh, we're back up to full speed now on cheese on crackers. We've got vegan versions of Percy Pigs, or the equivalent knockoff version. Some nanas. And yeah, and then what else have we got there? Mars bars, all sorts. So we try to put out as much as possible, but it's early in the morning. You don't want a cheese sandwich at 10 o'clock. Well, I don't. If you ask for a cheese sandwich, we'll get them out. But we'll get cheese sandwiches out later, we'll get pizza out later, we'll get salty potatoes out later. We will mix it up a little bit. So try to vary it as much as possible throughout the day. There'll be cherry bakewells later, there'll be some other things as well. But it's just about trying to have some variation. So if you've got very, very specific dietary needs that you must have when you run, bring it and leave it in the drop bag area there, or on that table you can see at the end there as well, you can see loads of water bottles and stuff like that as well. So leave that there if you've got really specific needs. If you want to sort of have something sweet or have something savoury, have something a little bit different, we've got you covered for that. So don't worry about that at all, right? It will be different each time because there's only so many Jaffa cakes I can buy. They do tend to be quite popular, so they go. So come 3 o'clock, sometimes we run out of Jaffa cakes. So if you must have Jaffa cakes, bring a box of Jaffa cakes. But there'll always be something sweet, there'll always be something gluten-free, there'll always be something dairy-free, there'll always be something savoury. And that's how we run our aid stations. So that's just a little insight to the aid station for those of you that maybe haven't been to events before. Ladies, how are we getting on today?
Well,
Good.
okay.
We're
doing all right. We're going to try another one.
So
One more to go for us. I
2
think.
laps in?
Two laps.
Two laps. And the plan is?
Try one more, see how we go.
Yeah,
Maybe
same.
4.
Yeah?
See how we get on.
6.
Yeah.
You get 6 laps or 6 hours?
6 laps.
6 laps, awesome. That's
And I'm
good.
only doing 3.
That's good. You been to these events before?
Yeah,
No,
we've not done this.
one
I
like
did
this.
the Coombe Abbey
Excellent.
night trail.
Oh, the 10K?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Enjoying it?
Yes,
Yes,
it's
very
really
good.
good. Very well organised. Very well organised. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's
Makes it easy.
something different to do on a Wednesday, right?
Exactly.
It's been at the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, if the review is I'd rather be at work, I've done a bad job. But right, I won't hold you up any longer.
No,
Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I've come for a little wander on the other side of the park now. So behind me, you can probably see where the HQ is all set up. And then the runners sort of do this short little run around here, and then they go down around into sort of like the new estate, effectively, where there's also a lovely little track and where the country park got a lot bigger. But this is quite a popular park, so you can see around me there's people running, there's people out walking. I'm trying not to get into the shot too much, just trotting a big puddle as I'm walking backwards. That's silly. But our runners are going around, not getting anybody's way, having fun. My man's leading here, doing very, very well. What's the plan for the day? Didn't hear or didn't want to reply. How have we got on today?
Yeah, I did the distance I wanted to do, so
How far?
struggled.
How far?
Half marathon.
Half an hour, excellent.
So I did 4 laps, but yeah.
That was the plan though, yeah?
That was the plan.
Excellent.
I haven't done it for a long time though, so yeah, it was a surprise I got round.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
but well, every time I saw you, you looked pretty comfortable.
I don't know. The last lap was a bit tough, but yeah, no, it was good.
That's good. You got bigger plans for the year, or keep going? Or?
Got the winter 10K in London.
Okay, nice.
Next weekend after next, I think. Yeah, and then the Kettering half marathon after that, and I've got a few others during the year. So yeah,
Nice.
I try and do something every month. So
Cool.
yeah, that's good. I enjoyed it.
Well done.
Thanks again.
It's midday and the sun's come out, sort of slightly blue skies anyway. So a nice way to finish the day, or to the last part of the day, is to see some shadows behind me. There we go, you can see some sunshine and the sun has come out, which makes a massive difference and gives a nice little boost as you're halfway round. How did your day go?
Didn't meet my ultra pace marathon PB. What more can you say?
So how far have you just gone? You've just
8
finished, haven't
laps.
you?
Yeah,
8 laps.
28 miles nearly.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
that's what it
28
says.
miles.
27.8.
You need to sort that out. That's way over. That's not. So it's a
Yeah.
3.3 mile. So it's probably 26 and a half.
Oh no, if it's on Strava, it counts.
Yeah, you need to recalibrate your GPS.
I always take the fastest possible pace.
I'm
not interested
cheating.
in
Is this what it is?
recalibrating.
Cheating,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me tell you what it actually says.
Can't be 28.
This is great TV right here.
Yeah, this is live.
It is
got-
sinking,
if it's over
sinking,
27.
sinking. It's definitely over 27.
Is it?
Yeah. I think your legs are long, that's all. No, not loaded
No, I was
yet.
gonna
Hold on.
say.
It's not 14.3.
This is the first time you've run with us?
I did the Coombe 10K night,
Excellent.
but this is the first 6 hour with you, yeah.
Excellent.
I did some with another provider before.
Enjoy the format?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, you can quit off at any point, which is really useful.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't, 4G's not working. If I wasn't feeling it, I'd have quite happily stopped at 6 because it was about pacing for the ultra, not actually running the
Yeah.
marathon itself. It just felt really comfortable.
So you got an ultra coming up?
Yeah, the Peaks 52K in July with Ultra Challenge.
Nice. So you'll probably do more elevation.
Yeah, lots
getting out
more.
of the car
There you go,
park
look,
there than you do here.
27.85.
No, when you get home, and you get that on, like, get it on a computer.
I'm never going to do that, you know that,
Okay,
right?
fine. But when you click on it and you see each lap, it'll be all over the place.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Honestly.
that's fine. Bonus
on Strava,
miles.
if it doesn't, not Strava, it doesn't count, right?
Bonus miles, yeah.
Bonus
It's good.
miles. No, it was a great event, nicely ran, like the format. I've not been to Daventry for many a year.
It's nice, right?
Yeah.
This is lovely country park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That little bit down there is obviously new since I've last been here. That's quite nice.
yeah.
Just it's quiet today, which is really what you want when you're doing a big mile. I'm
Yeah.
not really helping this TV alarm.
Yeah, it's
am
good.
I, really.
No, it's good. Thank
Winning
you.
it, but thank you very much.
So how have you got on today?
I did, what was it, 6 laps, 7 laps, can't remember, 20,
Yeah, 6 laps.
20 and a half miles, carrying 11 kilos plus some water.
11 kilos down there. So
Got on okay. First lap's probably a bit too quick. Paid the price at the end. The calf is tightening up a little bit now, so I think it's better. I've probably got another lap in me, but I don't want to sort of push it too hard.
have you done any events carrying weight before?
I've done fan dance race,
okay.
commando shuffle, and another one up in Cumbria called Sabre,
Right, okay.
which is up in the fells, not the Lake District, which is the unpleasant side, so it's Cumbria. So I am used to carrying weight.
Excellent. And like, so all of those are really hilly carrying weight. Obviously this is pan flat virtually here, so it's different, right?
Well, this is to some extent harder because you don't get a chance to freewheel on the downhills. Yeah, you'd be walking up the uphills, but I could, on the downhills, you sort of take the weight off a bit. But I could, on some of the downhill sections, I could, sort of plod along a bit. I know that's what I was trying to do. But my heart rate was getting a bit high, so I thought I'll start walking now.
That's good. Well done.
But yeah, thank you very
Well
much.
done. Just a few clips there from lots of the happy runners that were with us on Wednesday, which is great. Quite a few from Lutterworth Harriers, which I didn't quite spot until I was putting the clip together earlier. I don't think we've had runners from Lutterworth Harriers before. I just was clearly drawn to their high-vis tops when stuffing the GoPro in front of their faces. But a great day, really, really good day. A strange day in terms of the numbers. So I'm going to get straight into it, but our events tend to have sort of like a 50-50 pretty much split male-female. But for some reason, and I don't think there's any real reason to it, or any rhyme or reason to it really, we had 2/3 female, 1/3 male at the Squirrel Challenge, which just is how it is. I mean, the numbers are small enough that if you probably ran genuine statistics on it, it probably wouldn't be of statistical relevance. But this event has got 2/3 female, 1/3 male, and I think currently, or when I looked last week, the next event is actually switched on its head, where we've got 2/3 male, 1/3 female. Whether that'll be the case by the time all the entries shut, I don't know. But yeah, strange. But really, really good to have lots and lots of people at Daventry Country Park, which is a beautiful park. Really sort of does have it all. I was chatting to people that they'd never been to Daventry. They pretty much never would come to Daventry because they don't live near. The guy who won, whose name has escaped me, but I will find his name because that's going to be rude. David, chatting to David, and he lives in Somerset. He was up visiting, I think it was his sister or sister-in-law who lives in Northampton, and then he thought, oh, come and get a run in while there's a run locally. So he's come to Daventry, run around the park. He would never ever have come to Daventry Country Park if it hadn't have been for this event. So it's great, and as we all agreed, it got him out of a day with the in-laws, which he did not agree to that, just in case they are watching. He was saying he was very upset to not spend a day with the in-laws. But it was a nice way to introduce people to a beautiful park, because it's sort of got everything that you could want in the countryside, in that it's got a new part that is the first sort of 3/4 of the mile. Some of that is freshly laid tarmac, which is just a sort of nice respite every now and then. But then there's a really nice pond that goes around, which has always got wildlife in it, which is great. Then you go across the dam wall, so you can see all across the reservoir, which first thing in the morning, couldn't then see very far because it was quite misty, but if you stayed for long enough and you were there in the afternoon, you could see all the way across the reservoir, and it's very, very nice. And then as you go off the dam wall, you end up running through tree-lined paths, but you sort of feel like you're in the woods because the trees are, they're very mature. It's a very mature woodland, or very mature trees, but you're not really in the woods because if you step 10 metres one way, you're in fields. You go 10 metres the other way, you get your feet wet and you're in the reservoir. But it doesn't feel like you're on the outskirts of town, to be honest, now they've built new houses in the middle of town. It's just a very, very nice country park. It's very popular with the locals. I think there's quite a lot of local pride in Daventry Country Park because it is really, really nice. So it's nice to be able to put events on there and bring people to the country park that maybe wouldn't have gone if there wasn't our event on there. Again, it was another sellout event, which is excellent. So the first 2 events of the year have been sellouts. The next event that's coming up, Badger Challenge at Beacon Hill Country Park, is looking like it's probably going to get very close to selling out or will sell out. So if you do want to do that, enter that. I've got some stats again from the day. I've got some stories as well, but we've got some stats from the day as well. So like I said, we had 2/3 female, 1/3 male running. We had a lot of club runners. So we had 74 club runners, which makes it about 60% of people there were affiliated to a club. We always get quite a few club runners. So at the Crocodile Challenge, we had 57 club runners, but we had more runners there. But it stood out. When I was looking at the results, I noticed that a lot of people were in clubs. Really good local support. So we had 7 runners from Daventry Road Runners. And obviously this is just where people have actually typed that they are part of a club. So there'll be people that just forget or don't realise they have to or any of that. So at least 7 people from Daventry Road Runners. We also had 7 from Lutterworth Harriers, as I mentioned before. They really stood out in their high-vis tops. And then 8 from the 100 Marathon Club. If you're not familiar with the 100 Marathon Club, they do make up a good bulk of the runners at every single event that I do. So the 100 Marathon Club is sort of what it sounds like. And once you run 100 marathons, there are some rules, as there always are with these things. But once you've run 100 marathons, you're then part of the 100 Marathon Club. So there's a lot of the people that are in that 100 Marathon Club who have done a lot more than 100 marathons. John Q, who is there, is getting close to 2,000 marathons. You hear that and you think, to be honest, and nothing to do with John, somebody tells you they've run 2,000 marathons and your immediate thought is liar. But I know he's run over 500 marathons with Phoenix Running. So that's just with one company. He's run loads and loads with me. So I've got no reason to think that he's not close to that 2,000 mark. And there's people like Alan, who's up to 700 and something. Rob's over or getting close to 300. So although they're in the 100 Marathon Club, a lot of them have done a lot more than 100 marathons. And then there's quite a few people as well that come to the events and they're trying to get to 100 marathons. So having an event on a Wednesday, if they're trying to get to 100 marathons quite quickly, means they can run an event on a Wednesday, then find one on a Saturday, then find one on a Sunday, and they can do 3 in a week. So it works quite nicely. We get a lot of people from the 100 Marathon Club, and they tend to be very, very nice, very, very friendly, and very encouraging of other people to do the same as what they're doing. For example, we had Rob, who was running round, and Rob's done, I think he's getting close to 300 marathons. He's definitely done over 250, so he's getting close to 300. And there was, I believe it was Laura that was running, and I think I might get these numbers wrong, but they're pretty much right. I think she'd only ever done 25k before, so she was running further than she'd ever done. She'd got to 6 laps. That was going to be the plan. And I think Rob ran in with her on sort of like the back end of her 6th lap. She said, I'm going to stop after 6. And he encouraged her to keep going. Or I think she was only going to do 5, actually. Then he said, I'll run round on your 6th. And then it's like, well, you've done 6. You might as well carry on, do 2 more and get that marathon. And so she's gone from having effectively done just over a half marathon. That's the maximum she'd ever done. She'd come planning to do a little bit more than that, and then because of just the people around and the atmosphere and the fact you can just sort of do a little bit more, do a little bit more, do a little bit more, and you can break it down. She's gone and done a marathon that she had no plan of doing at 9 a.m. in the morning, and then before sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she's completed a marathon on a Wednesday. Like, it happens all the time. I don't talk about it anywhere near enough because I don't recall the exact details, and I don't want to give sort of wishy-washy half reports on things that have happened, but it's brilliant and it's so good to see, and I absolutely love it. And sharing those experiences with people is just great fun. I was chatting with Mandy, who was volunteering, and she was sort of in and amongst it because she was doing a lot of the timekeeping for me for most of the day, and she said, it's just lovely seeing all these people just enjoying themselves. And I sort of came to the conclusion that if you were at the finish line of the generic whatever half marathon, most people that are running those are going for a time, they're trying to push themselves as hard as they can. When they get to the finish line, they're absolutely knackered, so they're not really sort of happy and cheery. Whereas when it comes to trail running and big bear events especially, people aren't really going all out worrying about seconds and PBs and things, really, not that often anyway. And so they're just a lot happier when they finish because they tend to be pleased with what they've done, and they're not completely drained of all energy and joy. So it just makes it a lot nicer. So it is a really nice place to be at that finish line, because I could probably count on one hand the amount of people that have finished and just aren't happy with how the day's gone. Because even if you've not hit the distance you wanted to, or you've not hit the time, you can normally pick some joy out of something that's happened during the day. So it's lovely. It's really good. What other stats did I get? So the last finisher finished in 6 hours and 31, and the first finisher finished at 40 minutes and 59 seconds. So that again is just to sort of highlight, and also, to be honest, the last finisher was David, who completed the most amount of laps as well. So when people are worried about being the last on the course, you could have come and done a 6 hour half marathon and there'd have been people behind you. So quite often the last person to actually finish is actually the person that's run the furthest, or it'll be somebody that's run a very long way. It just changes to sort of, I don't know, mental maths. If you're coming to do a distance that you don't quite know if you can do, you're not going to be, you probably not going to be last, and you're definitely not going to have somebody trying to hurry you up because they want to close down the finish line. So it just makes it a lot more of a pleasant experience, really, if that is what you're trying to do. Total number of laps completed, 685. Total distance, 2,260 metres. What's quite interesting is that the average distance, and this will be a statistic that I tried to keep doing on every single event, the average distance was only 0.1 of a mile different to the Crocodile Challenge that we had a couple of weeks ago. So it'll be interesting to see if 19.5 miles is the average distance at pretty much all of the events. It might be, it might not be. I guess we'll find out. I don't have the Jaffa Cake stats currently. I'm going to make sure I get those, but I don't currently have those. I did buy 6 boxes of Jaffa Cakes. I didn't make a note of how many I came back with. I've asked Mary, who tends to be the one that looks after these things, to see if she can remember, but I will update that and we'll find out exactly how many Jaffa Cakes we got through. I've got a feeling it might have been all 6 boxes, so it'll be more than the 140 that were eaten at the last event. People do love those Jaffa Cakes. On having lots of females running as well, what was also really good is we had lots of people running that were younger as well. So I think it's the nature of having events that are midweek, that are a little bit different, means that we tend to draw a slightly older crowd. So the average age, again, I've got those numbers, the average age of sign-ups was 49.1 years old, which is about what we go for, like sort of mid to late 40s is what I always tell people is sort of like the average age of people at the events. So we get some people that are in their 60s and 70s. We get a lot less people that are in their 20s or younger. But we did have had Laura. No, let me get the name right. Oh no, it was Laura. So we had Lauren, who's 18, who has got a place for London Marathon, which I did explain is incredible to do when you're 18. And so she was using this event as training. She did 6 laps, but looked incredibly comfortable doing them. So she'll be absolutely fine for the distance at London. And I had the same conversation I have with her as I do with everybody that tells me they're going to do London. And that's just enjoy London Marathon. Don't worry about racing it. Don't worry about times. Just enjoy it for being the best sporting event in the world, I would suggest. At least one that you can actually get into. I know it's not easy to get into it, but if you want to get a charity place, you can get into it. They don't do charity places for the World Cup final. So, it is a mass participation event. I'd suggest it's probably the best one in the world. If you want to go and set a fast time, do London Marathon and then sign up to Abingdon in October, because you'll do a fast time there. It's just not worth wasting the London Marathon place and running past Big Ben just thinking I want to get back quickly because I want to try and hit this time, or get into Big Ben feeling like you're about to die because you've only got 2 miles left or whatever it is. Instead, get to Big Ben, soak it up, enjoy it. It's just such an incredible experience. It's wasted to just be going for a time, in my opinion. If you're really, really fast and you're going to get in good for age for the next 20 years, fine, I guess do what you want to do. But if this is going to be sort of a one and done, or you've got in on the ballot, which is something like 2,000 to 1 to get in, then just soak up that atmosphere and enjoy it. It's brilliant as well to see Beth running as well. I think she's early 20s, 20 maybe. Her whole family come and run in lots of our events as well, so it's really, really good. Part of Daventry Road Runners, I think. At least the parents are. And it's just nice to see sort of the younger demographic coming through. I see lots and lots of stuff from other organisers, especially London-based stuff, about the growth in running being sort of like Gen Z, sort of like the people in their 20s essentially, and how the growth there is absolutely huge. And I think in central London, it very, very much is that, and maybe in the bigger cities, but I haven't seen that particularly at my events. So it would be great to try and do that, to see if we can sort of add youth in there as well, because obviously if you can get people when they're younger and they carry on doing it until they're in their sort of 40s and 50s, you've got people in running for a very, very long time. If everybody gets into it when they sort of hit their 30s, which I think is probably sort of what has happened traditionally, or at least happened over the last 20 years, then you don't get as many people coming to do the event. So it'd be great to try and get people earlier into the events. But a great day at Daventry Country Park. As I mentioned in the video as well, we didn't have any rats at all day. So it's a bit of an odd thing to start with. I fully appreciate that. But it was unbelievable. I think it was November 2024 when we were there. There were just tons. And it's sort of, if you're a bit of a city boy, sort of as I am, you think that if there's rats, you just get rid of them. But it is nature. As much as you don't want them in your house, if they're in your house, that's a bit different. But when they're out in their natural habitat, being wild animals, you can't really do too much about them. And speaking to the rangers there at the time, it costs so much to actually, remove all of those rats. It's just really not worth it. And they just keep coming back anyway. Once the water level drops and it dries out a little bit, the rats will go away. But it's just because the water's so high at the reservoir, it sort of forces them onto the land. However, I won't keep mentioning it, but we didn't see any at all, which was brilliant. I only saw one the day before. I was a little bit worried that the whole of the HQ area was going to be sort of infested with them, but it wasn't. So we had none of that problem. We had no rain. We didn't have any high wind. excellent times. I also made a slight misjudgment on telling people that road shoes would be absolutely fine. It's very difficult for me when I go out marking the course the day before to know what the course is going to look like the day after. There was quite a lot of snow overnight, actually, which settled where I am, and I think settled a little bit in Daventry. And then there was quite a lot of rain afterwards, so the volume of water was quite high, which then made slightly mucky paths even muckier. The photographer did a great job of positioning himself on, I think, pretty much the only puddle that went all the way across the path. So I got a lot of photos of splashing feet as it went through the puddles. Makes for great photos, but also very mucky trainers. And then for 2 events in a row now, the aid station was definitely the muddiest section of the whole course. But the reason that I say to people you could wear road shoes or you could wear trail shoes is because for some reason, well, I mean, firstly, some people only have road shoes. Obviously, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to have 3,000 pairs of different running shoes. But a lot of people have a choice of, they've got road shoes and trail shoes. But the amount of people that tell me that the trail shoes hurt their feet and so they don't like to wear them is crazy. I would suggest if your trail shoes hurt your feet, you've got the wrong trail shoes. I'm not sort of paid off by Ultra. I'm a massive fan of Ultra and they come to my events. So I will very much vouch for their Lone Peaks. Would have been absolutely perfect. If that was me running, well, I mean, when I marked the course, if I was running on the day as well, I'd have been out in Lone Peaks. Beautiful, incredibly comfortable shoe. I mean, I walk to school in them. I do everything in my Lone Peaks in old pairs. Incredibly comfortable. Now they've got Vibram grip on the bottom as well. Really nice and grippy. They'd have been absolutely fine for that country park because most of the course would be absolutely fine in just street shoes. Like you'd be fine in Converse, really. So most of it would have been fine in road shoes. It was just a few bits that were mucky. And so I tried to, rather than tell people you should wear this, I tried to show as many videos as I can. I tried to show the worst parts that are on the whole course and then just give my take on it, I guess. But it's a very personal choice. Some people would have worn road shoes and they've been absolutely fine. Some people would have insisted on trail shoes. I think if you just got to be sensible. The golden rule, though, is never white trainers. Did get the photographer got a cracking shot of somebody in white road trainers, and they're just absolutely filthy. But she said, they're old ones, they're the only ones I've got, and so that's absolutely fine. Ultra will be joining us at the Elephant Challenge, which is at the end of March, so you can come and try some really, really nice trail shoes on then. But I fully appreciate not everybody's got 15 different pairs of trail shoes to pick from, but yeah, if you've got trail shoes and you don't wear them because they hurt your feet, you need to change your trail shoes, because if they're trail shoes and you're on trail, your feet shouldn't hurt. It should be absolutely fine. So it's definitely a shoe problem, I would suggest, if that's what's happening. Yeah, great event. What else has been happening in Big Bear Land, I guess? So I went to the National Run Show last weekend. I had to do a very flying visit because I had my daughter's National Cup quarter-final to get back to at midday. So I was one of the sad people queuing to get in. But, I mean, I'm sort of glad that I did, because I know that as soon as I left at 11, people would have done park run, sorted themselves out, had breakfast, then turned up. It was starting to get really quite busy at 11. So I'm sort of glad I got done what I needed to do early and got out. Nice to go and see people, try and see some people that I already know, try and sort of see some people that I've wanting to try and speak to. I did go around testing quite a lot of the race nutrition, I guess is the technical term, gels and electrolytes, because I'm trying to find a new nutrition partner for the year, to try and get it so we've got gels and electrolytes and everything on the aid station, and see if I can effectively sell space at the event in terms of getting some free product from one of the companies that have nice stuff as well. So I want it to be nice stuff for you and for the other runners, but I've got 2,500 people that want to run, that run in lots of events and do lots of different things. It feels like something that would be a good opportunity for a sports nutrition company to sort of want to fund that effectively. So hopefully I'll have some good news on that for some future events, but I guess we'll see. I'm pretty sure I will be at that National Run Show in the event space in 2027, I think. I'm just trying to sort it all out now, but I think that would be a good place to go to. It'd be very interesting if you've got this far. If you were at the National Running Show and you saw the event village part, did you think it was good? Do you think it's worth it? Did you engage with any of it at all? It's not cheap to go, but it's not crazy money, so I think it's probably worth it. Having a stall is crazy money, and I don't think it's worth it. But one of those pods would be quite good because they effectively dress it for you, so it doesn't mean I've then got to spend hundreds, thousands on dressing a 3x3 meter area for one thing I do a year. So I think it can work nicely. So I expect to be there next year, and then I will probably have events set up afterwards so that there's actually things for people to sign up to quite soon afterwards, because there's no point in having a bit of buzz and then, oh, you can't enter an event for 6 weeks or 6 months because it's sold out. So I'll hopefully try and change it then. I should hopefully have a new event at an old venue that I've put all the applications in for, just waiting for the last big tick, or the official big tick, but hopefully that will be ready to get signed off and the event will be out shortly. That is going to be at the beginning of October this year. I've got another venue that came back to me as well, an absolutely brand new venue that is south of Northampton, and I'm going to go down, have a run around, see if I can make that work, and then that will be something new for 2027. So I'm trying to make sure that we just keep refreshing things, take some courses in, take some courses out, not necessarily take them out forever, but if you give them a little break, and then when we then do come back to them, people are a bit keener because it's not just the same thing every year. I'm really keen to try and keep all this stuff sort of fresh and new and just a little bit of variation. Just small things. If you've entered any events in the last 3 or 4 days from as I'm recording, you'll start to get a text message to confirm your booking as well. Just little things like that, just to try and effectively look a bit more professional than a man sitting in a shed at the bottom of his garden. If you are watching and you've watched a few of these, you'll see that I've slightly changed the setup as well. So I will have a bit more of a tidy up and it will look better for the next one. I only messed around with everything this morning, but I wanted to get this out. So it will look a bit more professional hopefully next time round. And if you watched the last one, hopefully I'm not zooming in and out like I was on the other one because I'm using a different camera, and hopefully this one will work. But I'm rambling now, so I'll stop. Thank you very much. Next event is the Badger Challenge at Beacon Hill Country Park. Beacon Hill, as the name suggests, is a big hill, but it's a lap. So everything you do up, you then have to do down. It is really, really beautiful there as well. The downhill running is genuinely some of the nicest running you'll do anywhere. It's the perfect gradient to be able to just run fast without absolutely battering your knees. And because it's underneath a pine foresty part, where the pine needles fall, it sort of just cushions your landing a little bit as well. So it just sort of takes that little bit off your knee. It really is very, very beautiful. Entries for that are selling quite well. So if you do want to come along to that, I would suggest entering soon. Other than that, I will be back doing this probably after that event because I don't think there's anything much to do in between, and I've got half term, so I definitely won't be doing much then either. But thank you very much. Thanks for getting this far. If you have got this far, please like the video because it just helps other people think they should watch it if there's some likes on videos. So yeah, please like, and if you've not subscribed, subscribe as well. Excellent. Thank you very much, and I will speak to you soon.